think we can do. That's a set, Robbie.
Knock it off!
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Knock it off!
The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, you want to crown them? Then crown them.
Knock it off!
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
You play to win the game.
Knock it off!
Hello?
Hey, I'm awfully green. Who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, bold and beautiful, Mike Lepre. This is legit fantasy football Thursday night. It is September 29th. Now I'm purple. 2022, which is, there we go, which is 0929 2022. A 9 minus 2 minus plus 9 would be 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Divided by 2 is 4. Divided by 2. There's your mathematics that I just did. Joining me as always, Buddy. Money. There, Buddy. What do you think of my math? On the fly right there.
I was a little impressed, Mike. I'm not going to lie. There were a lot of 9s and there were a lot of 2s, and you made it all work somehow.
I don't know how I did, but I did it.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know how I did, but I did it. How you feeling about tonight's game?
I'm confident going into tonight's game, Mike. Unlike the last 2 weeks, I was a little shaky. I feel Cincinnati, who just barely beat the New York Jets or the New Jersey Jets, depends on where your perspective is. I think we can beat. I think we can beat the Bengals, Mike.
The Bengals.
The Bungles, if you will.
The Bengals with Susanna Hoffs. Just another manic Monday. Whoa. I didn't know they were playing. But joining us, Mastradamus M1, Mr. Never Left, Mr. Here he is. What's going on, Matt?
Let's be honest, folks.
Oh, boy,
There isn't a bigger Dolphins fan in the planet than yours truly.
Oh, my
I've
God.
been a
I can't-
fan. I've been a fan of the Dolphins.
No.
What seems like forever.
No. Right there
And-
shuts you up. In your place, you're put. You can't even say that with this guy up on board. He's
Not
lived
even
through
close, dude.
agony since the 60s, the 50s. You know what I mean? Before they were even the Dolphins. This guy, you can't call yourself the greatest Dolphin fan next to him. Not even my buddy, but next to him.
Does he have Jalen Waddle rookie cards and Tua cards? That's what I want to know.
I don't. I wish I did. I definitely wish I did. I made my first communion with Don Shula. Like, come on.
Right?
Did you
Right.
really?
Rest in peace.
So, hey guys, so at my house, this is what I got going on. I got a small 45-pound pit bull who's in heat, and I have a large 145 pounds, I should say, 150 mastiff who cries all night long and tries to go rape her. I've been sleeping in the basement the last 2 nights. Last night, fell asleep at 4 o'clock when he finally stopped whining. I had to throw cold water on his face. Didn't sleep the night before that. So it's been quite the experience for me, dealing with dogs in heat, which brings me back to my stand-up special, right? Where I discuss how I saw a circumcised dog. And it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why the lady did it to the dog. It was awful. It's as bad as you'd think it was. Okay, now back to football. All right, guys, we're going to go around the horn on the games and discuss what we thought. Now, the Thursday night game was the Browns and the Steelers. Am I wrong?
No.
You're right.
And once again, King Michael, the Thursday night Messiah, was dead on with my pick and the over-under. Now, that got a streak going. So, at the end, I'll give you my Thursday night pick, and then, the Messiah will have spoken. Let us begin with the 1 o'clock games that we saw and what our reactions are. All right, gentlemen, the Ravens and Pats. Ray, did you see a beating like this coming? I mean, you couldn't have seen the injury to Mac Jones, but did you see a beating like this coming?
Yeah, that really didn't make a difference. I think all of us had the Pats. I want to say all of us had the Pats in
No,
this.
no, I had the Ravens.
You know, the Ravens. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you thought they played well for most of the game, and then that fourth quarter, it just got away from them. And it's not like the Ravens ran, but they just passed at will, and they had no answer for it.
No, here's the thing. The thing was, the reason I took the Ravens in that game is purely because the spread was at the time 2. Do you know what I mean? Like that 2 to me meant a lot. I don't know why, because it wasn't 3. But then beat them by 11. Matt, your thoughts?
I didn't think it was that bad of a beat, and I was like, I'm with Brother Ray. 3.5 quarters. I was surprised that the Patriots were hanging with them and showed signs of life. But that's also the Baltimore defense. We've seen that with the Dolphins. They got a lot to give, so they might be exciting on the offensive side. And we seen Lamar Jackson. Boy, I doubted him. He banked on himself, and it's gonna pay. We might see the biggest contract ever.
No, so
quarterback.
Can I speak on Lamar Jackson really quick?
Go ahead.
All right. I've now heard from 2 different sources within the Giants organization that instead of franchise tagging Daniel Jones for $30 million, now Daniel Jones played so admirable in that game. We'll get onto it later. Like he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He got beat up like a crash test dummy and kept making plays, but he hasn't done anything that's making me say he's worth $30 million towards our cap next year. That's what's terrifying me and terrifying every Giant fan. And Daboll has been quoted as saying the perfect quarterback to run his offense would be Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson's going into free agency for a reason. And one of the locations I've heard from the Tiki Barber broadcast, and then from a couple other ones, and then there's that one guy, Ray, that always knows the Giants, the one that knew Parcells really well, the old guy with the curly hair. You know the guy I mean. There's that one guy that always would report on the Giants. He knew Parcells. He's deep in it. I forget his name. Older guy. He got bigger. Peter King. Peter King.
Yeah.
Another guy who talked about it. Like Lamar wants a big market. What teams in big markets will be looking for quarterbacks? It's pretty.
I don't blame Daniel Jones for any of this. First of all, that offensive line's going to bear responsibility. The rookie was completely outplayed, and we expected that. I mean, he's a rookie. Neal's a rookie, but still, who is he throwing the ball to, Mike? Who is he throwing the ball to?
Dude,
his receivers are awful.
Sills, Richie
James.
No Shepard anymore. Galladay, they need to trade Galladay, right? They need to sign Odell Beckham Jr. They do. He wants to come play for them.
And help. He needs help.
He's got nothing, right? No tight end to speak of. And he's out there running for first downs, taking hits. He's making like little drop passes that people can't make, but no one's paying attention to that. They're paying attention to the fact that receiver slips, there's an interception, he gets whacked. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that's what I heard. Let's move on to the Bills Dolphins. Buddy, what did you think of this game, buddy? Because we all picked this. This is another. By the way, we went 5 for 5 on the 1 and 4 o'clock games. If anybody took those 5 teams and put a parlay, they would have won, I think, for $5. They bet them outright to win because we did kind of technically had that way. To win outright, that 5-team parlay for $5 would have paid like $2,800.
Wow.
For $5, that 5 teams we gave everybody. Because we had all long shots. We had underdogs. The Dolphins were underdogs. They won outright. We knew that. We knew they were going to win the game. So what did you think, buddy?
Oh, man. It was a great football game. I had some friends from Buffalo that were down in Miami and were talking shit the entire week. So it was a great culmination for the whole week, for the whole last few years of just playing the Bills and getting our asses kicked and actually giving it to them and coming through with receivers and stuff and coming through at the end and not giving up. and not losing the game.
Ray, what do you think? What's different about these Dolphins?
Both sides of the ball. Their defense won this game. They allowed 3 points in the second half. I mean, Buffalo put up all these yards. They had time of possession, like it was way in their favor. They had much more plays, but bend don't break. And if their defense can bail them out of games when their offense isn't doing it, to me, that's a playoff team right there. So I think the defensive coordinator needs all the credit. I mean, he was doing some things that the Bills had no answer to. He's been game planning this, I think, since the offseason. He was ready for this game.
You think the Dolphins need a good running back? Like just a solid banger?
I like what they have. Buffalo's a tough defense. I mean, they're no pushovers. I think the combination of Edmonds and Mostert is good. And I like Ingold in there too. I mean, he had a really bad drop early in the game, but I don't know. I think they're okay right now.
Talking about a team that needs a running back, King, how about Buffalo? They cannot run the ball, and that's a big pot.
They're not sticking with one guy. They don't stick with one guy. They don't give one guy a chance to get going. I hate when teams do that, and then they complain. Running backs need the ball.
I've been saying it since preseason, and I know Brother Ray heard me because it's his team that I'm talking about. I said both sides of the ball, Miami's a better team defensively, offensively. They can run, be more methodical. Defensively, they're great. What we saw, right, was just like Brother Ray said, that defense clamped down. They went up 17-14, and they said not another inch. I went back and I watched the tape. Tua cannot be talked about enough. He's throwing people open. He's not just throwing to a guy just sitting in coverage. He's letting the ball rip before he makes the damn break. Kid's good. He's on fire. I love the pizzazz he's got. He's talking in the media, and Tyreek's telling him he's going at Eli Apple, and he says, "That's right, Eli Apple. I get you on one-on-one coverage. I'm coming at you." This is a team that's finding themselves, that just played a team that's a juggernaut, a team that played the Rams, and then who Buffalo beat up on week 2? Tennessee beat them up pretty bad. This is a team that's finding themselves in Miami that just beat a juggernaut. Miami's for real. They're still making excuses on why they accidentally are 3-0. They're here. They're being chased now. Miami is the 1 seed. Hi.
Okay.
And not for nothing. They got after this game, they have a really soft,
easy schedule. Hard to find. Buddy, I'm glad you said it, because after this week, until after their bye week, it's hard to find a loss. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm worried about tonight. I hope they get through it, because it's going to be fun if they do.
All right. Moving on to Cincinnati and the Jets. I took Cincinnati -6. Everybody else jumped on the Jets. Why do we always all jump on the Jets? Ray?
Well, I think it was more Cincinnati just hadn't proven anything yet. Up until last week, I mean, Burrow couldn't get through a game. I mean, he looked really rusty. Their defense wasn't playing well. So, yeah, there were doubts that the Jets were playing well. But I think you saw a Cincinnati team that finally found their footing.
Burrow it's not good for John.
He looked like a different player. And when that happens, and they're a good team. I mean, they used Tyler Boyd last week, which they haven't done prior to that. They got him involved. Higgins got involved. They won a game where Chase wasn't, his usual dominant self. So you got to give them credit. They went in and they looked like the old Bengals from last year.
Yeah, that's what would worry me for Dolphin fans tonight, was that they had to do that then. Like, you know what I mean? They could have just stayed sleeping and you guys would have been happier. Right? Matt, you have something you want to add on that?
I don't think that the Bengals are back up to speed. What worries me about them tonight is they're 1-2 and their back's against the wall. But if you have Joe Mixon, then you are feeling what I'm about to say, because if there's 59 running backs that are playing, he's 60. He's 60. That's how bad he is. So if you got Samarin Perine, I'd go pick him up because in the NFL, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you did last year. If he doesn't start getting going, Sammy will.
All right. But do you have anything you want to add on the Jets losing? Maybe just want to throw something out there because I know you're a Dolphin fan.
Since they only gave up 2 sacks, their offensive line performed a little bit more. Is Higgins playing this week? Will that make a big difference against the Dolphins? I don't know.
I think it will because Xavier Howard is actually dealing with a groin issue, which now you free up Chase. Like, are you going to put Howard on Chase? And now it goes down to depth. But what I wanted to touch real quick on before we touch about Cincy and Miami tonight, what I took away from the Ravens game was Justice Hill. Justice Hill. He looked fantastic. And if J.K. Dobbins isn't going to be back anytime soon, go pick up Justice Hill.
Yeah, but that backfield, you just can't. Ray,
He's special, Mike. He was in there for a reason. He led all carriers.
Special too. It just they get so many of them. That's a rough backfield. It just is. A lot of guys. It's like the Browns. Ray, what do you think? I think it's a tough backfield.
I mean, Dobbins was full participant this week, so he's all systems go. I mean, Hill played a great game. He averaged 10 yards a carry, which is tough against the Patriots. That's unheard of. I'm sure Belichick was not happy with that, but he can catch the ball too. He's a different back than Dobbins. I think until Gus Edwards comes back, I think you're going to see him kind of go in there with Dobbins and kind of, be the change-up back. But once Dobbins is healthy, I mean, he's the one.
So, all right. I want to jump to this game really quick because I want to ask a question, Ray. Raiders, Titans. All right. We all took the Titans. It's another one, right? We're all in. Everyone we all took together from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 5 games in a row, we all won. Now, I picked up Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins isn't a rookie. Mac Hollins has been in the league for a couple of years. But for some reason, Derek Carr, I should say, one of the Carrs, is throwing it to Mac Hollins a lot. 8 targets in week 2, 10 targets in week 3. Ray, am I crazy for picking him up?
No. I mean, right now, they're looking for anything they can get on that offense. I mean, besides Adams, Waller's been inconsistent. Renfro has been hurt. That's why Hollins got all the traffic. Now, when Renfro comes back, Hollins is probably not going to be – he's not going to get the same
Renfro was there week 2, though. Renfro played with him in the game week 2, and he still got 8 targets, 5
He was also hurt. I mean, he was still hurt, Renfro. He was battling, an injury. He is.
But when you go 8 for 158 and a touchdown.
All right, let me keep going. Hollins is the deep threat on the team, though. Let's be honest. Renfro's that intermediate guy. Adams is all over. He's your stud one receiver. Hollins is a deep guy.
He stretches.
With Miami, that's what they would do. Once a game, they would send him 80 yards and just try and hit him deep. So, I mean, he is talented. He's a great special teams player.
He's good with the ball.
Hunter's not involved with practice this week, so expect Mac to roll again.
What's that?
Renfro's not playing practicing this week again, so expect
Yeah, so right. So as a fantasy guru that you are, wouldn't you advise people that without Renfro going, that if that guy's available on the waiver wire?
Definitely, yeah. He was one of the top waiver wire ads this week. There's no doubt.
Yeah, you took the running back. Am I correct?
What running back?
You took a running back, right? Because I saw you were ahead of me in the waiver wire. And
no, I took defense. I took defense and a kicker.
I took him, and I tried for some running back, but I didn't get him. But I know I was glad to get a hold of him. All right. So moving on, Buddy's sitting there so quietly. Buddy, the Saints played the Panthers. Matt was right on this one with the Panthers. The game itself was just awful. Did you watch any of it, buddy?
I didn't see any of it, Mike. I'm sorry. No, I had to work last Sunday.
All right. That's fine.
So I'm going to have to defer.
You defer. Ray, thoughts on this horrible game?
Besides Winston, just, I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore about Jameis Winston. Chris Olave is the real freaking deal.
Yeah,
he should not be available in any leagues. If he is by any chance, get on the computer right now, get off this, pick him up, and then come back.
Yeah. No, agreed. Matt, any thoughts on that game?
I just hope we see Ian Book, and I hope that he's a little bit more polished than we've seen last year. He didn't look good last year, but I think he could be successful. I think he's kind of like I don't want to say Christian Ponder because he sucked, even though he was, I think, could be serviceable in this NFL today. I think someone like Christian Ponder could be serviceable in today's NFL. I would compare him to a Christian Ponder. I don't think he's Kirk Cousins, but I do think he's kind of like a game manager, maybe like a Matt Castle. That's what I think of. Like,
hey, excuse me, Matt. Hey, Whale, please hit the like and subscribe button below, and drop us a comment. After we give you your advice,
I would go Mariota.
If you think it's good, leave us a G. If you think it sucked balls, put SB. All right. G if you agree with our advice. SB if you think our advice sucked balls. Leave it in the comments. You want to know who to bench, Wilson or Mariota? Ray?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably right now. I'd probably go with Mariota. I'll be honest with you. I'd go with Mariota, and eventually Wilson's going to turn it around. But until that happens, how can you keep going with him?
So here's the thing: Wilson's by far the better quarterback in my head. In my head, I know, but in my head, right? Right now, he's not playing the best. However, do you start your studs?
I don't think
you
he's
had
a
these
stud.
two guys. Who would you
He's
start?
not a stud.
He's not a stud right now.
All right. Buddy, any thoughts on that? As we all go Mariota?
I would stick with Mariota personally because, like they said, Wilson's not doing anything in Denver.
There it is, Whale. Please hit the like, subscribe button. Leave us a G if you liked it, and SB if you thought it sucked balls. Let's move on, gentlemen. Chiefs, Colts. Matty picked this one. That's why I'm bringing this one up. Matty was on fire at points. We all had our runs during the day, but Matt, you called this one. You called it outright, and they won 2017. I'm going to ask you this. How do you see that game? How did you call this game? It was an odd game to call.
It's the same thing with tonight. It's the same thing, as I always say, when you don't factor in the back against the wall, they need this game. This is their Super Bowl. This is their get it right. This is their we can't afford to lose. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We need to win. The Colts are a better team than what they've shown. Well, the Jaguars are a better team than what we know. So when the Colts get stopped by the Jaguars, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. But at the same time, we look at it because we don't know the Jags of who they are yet. I've been saying it. I said it weeks ago. I said, I don't know what happened with the Washington Redskins and the Jaguars. They did beat the Colts. Colts had to get back up off the mat. They needed that game. And it was also KC was kind of playing above what we thought they would be this year. But the Colts have that pass defense, and they have the people to cover those receivers. That's what I think it gave fits to Patty Mahomes, and they got a good defense. Indy has a good defense, so they got it right. Let's see if they can keep it together. Right now, the Jaguars are number one in the South.
So, Ray, let me swing this to you now because I know we're going to be losing some of you guys. You guys are going to leave early. So I'm going to get us our picks right here at the 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. The Miami Dolphins are playing the Cincinnati Bengals tonight at 8:15. The Bengals, not the Bengals, the Bengals are favored by 4. The over-under is 49.
I got
I'm going to
3.5.
start. It's now 4. I'm going to start with Ray. Who do you like?
I love the fact Miami's getting the 4. over the years when they've played Cincinnati, it's usually been like a 26-23 game. I know the last time, I think Wake got a safety in the end zone to win the game. I love the fact it's over 3. I'm going to take Miami on the road. It could be a trap game, absolutely. But if they're getting the 4 points and they're on a roll the way they are, I have to take the Dolphins in this one, even though the Bengals are going to have the white uniforms on that look pretty cool. And I'm going to go with the under here. Again, I think it's 26-23 type of game. So I'm going to go under the 49.
26-23 is 49.
Around, I'm still going to go under. I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit under.
It's a bump, but you just picked 26-23. It's a push.
Probably will be a push too. And before I go,
yep.
If you're going to play a prop tonight, okay, first touchdown scorer, Alec Ingold, plus 8,000. $5 gets you 400 big ones. Dolphins, they lose the coin toss. Cincinnati's probably going to defer. Sneaky fullback in a West Coast offense.
I like it.
Plus 8,000.
All right.
All right, guys, I got to roll.
Later, Ray.
Later, Ray.
Ray is gone.
Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy.
Buddy, your pick for tonight.
I'm not going to pick against my Dolphins. They're favored for. I think they're going to win outright against the Bengals. I think the Bengals. I don't think they're as serious as Buffalo was, or Baltimore for that matter. So I'm going in with a little bit more confidence this week than I did last week, and go Dolphins.
All right, buddy, you got to. Oh, by the way, can you hear my dog? Shut up! I don't care. You want the over or under? Oh no.
I'm going to take the over going into this, Mike. I think 2 is going to light it up.
I'm going to get attacked. Are you going over? Matty, you're up.
No, buddy. They are way more of a threat than Baltimore. They have the best trio in the league. If they can get it right, this is a great game. This is a borderline AFC Championship matchup. I'm gonna go with the Bengals here, and there's a reason for this spread. It's asking people to jump on Miami. Miami's hot right now. Big letdown spot. Just got an emotional victory over a team they haven't beat in 7 tries. Do they want this game? Absolutely. But like I mentioned earlier in the show, Xavier Howard is a little banged up. Bengals can exploit that. I said Joe Mixon doesn't really need to run to have success for the Bengals. Bengals over, not under. Bengals in the under tonight.
All right, hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to get in. My bad. I can't type. All right. You're the Bengals in the over? Right?
You know what? I'll go with the Bengals in the over because I think the Bengals defense is pretty bad. So I do think Miami's going to score. So I'll go Bengals over.
All right. Well, so the last couple of weeks, I have now earned another nickname, the Thursday Night Messiah, because I have been 100% correct on all of my picks. This is a fact. Every Thursday night, I've been 100% right. And I am now writing on this card for everyone to see the winning picks for tonight. If you want to run out to the track, if you got an online betting thing you want to use, if you have a bookie, which I don't suggest, that's not legal. But you do what you got to do to place your bets. But if you want to know the winning pick for tonight from the Thursday Night Messiah, Miami +4 and the over.
That's what I'm
Tonight,
about.
the Bengals throw bombs in the first half, and then the Miami defense tightens up, and Tua drops bombs in the fourth. The game ends up being like 38-35 Miami. and everybody starts to talk about how Miami might be the best team in the whole NFL, and then they lose to the Jets.
Go fuck yourself.
That's how it goes. But that's how it goes. I'm just telling you that's how it's going to go. Like, that's exactly in a week or two what's going to happen. They're going to be like, oh, my God, they're the best team. And then Zach Wilson comes out, the little paper boy, slinging like a paper. You know what I mean? He's got that paper boy on. Guys, we're going to keep it at a half hour because it's now 10 of 8. And, I'd rather keep it at 30 minutes than prolong people and miss the game. Anything you'd like to add before we go, Maddie? Anything that stuck out in the NFL season that happened recently? Anything you would like to discuss? Fantasy players? Anything you want to discuss?
I don't think that we've ever seen a season where Tom Brady has really looked like dog shit, and I think Tampa Bay this year has a chance to really look bad. I think he's really going through a divorce. I think that Giselle and him are done, and I think that that's really playing into his play. That's really about it. Not that I really care about Mr. Brady, but I think it will be a different season than what we are used to seeing from Tom.
Buddy, what do you got?
I got a few things, Mike. First of all, I think I have to apologize because I got the lowest score in the. It came close. It was only by a couple points.
Were you the lowest score?
I think I got like 84.
Oh, buddy.
Absolutely sucked. Everybody sucked a big dick last week.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Kyler Murray is the worst quarterback of all time.
Go ahead.
But in lieu of that, I put him as my starting quarterback, and I not only lost my game last week, but I scored the least amount of points, 83, I believe, or 84. It was awful. Granted, there were a few that were only a few points ahead of me. I think Mastradamus was below me for a while, and then he ended up scoring like 20 points, and son of a bitch. I was like, you had to do that, but whatever. You can't be the loser twice, 2 weeks in a row, I guess. So I'm the big goose egg. I sucked the big one, and I'm sorry, and I'll try not to do it ever again.
Perfect apology,
right,
buddy.
Like
that's how you play fantasy football. If you're the lowest score of the week, you apologize for it, right?
It sucked, right? The second thing I would like to say is it was nice to watch the Patriots choke as much as Matt is right now, and the cherry on top was to see Mac Jones go down with a high ankle sprain. Nothing makes me more giddy and more happy than to see the Patriots ultimately fail. And number 3, if you're not doing anything on Sunday after all the football madness, join us live at 7:05 as we'll be hosting Daniel Jackson. He speaks to spirits, he speaks to angels, he speaks to God. Join us. He might speak to you.
Wow.
You like that?
Wow. We're actually buddy, I actually have a conversation I have to have with you that I had with someone else about potentially a takeover. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, baby. Listen, get your bets in. I'm going to tell you a couple quick things on the fantasy wire. I'm going to say it. I really do think Matt Collins is a really good pickup if he's available. Like, if you need a fourth wide receiver and you're struggling to decide which one you're going to pick, throw this kid in. He's going to do it. And then as far as the Giants, really quick, the offensive line was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. But I blame the game on Wink Martindale, our defensive coordinator. I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why. 1, he just kept pressuring even though when they started to adjust to it. And 2, when they scored the rushing touchdown, the Giants had 10 men on the fucking field. If you have 10 men out there on a goal line defense, Matt, with 3 of them back, you're screwed. How do you not
I
know
thought it was over.
11?
Once Saquon Barkley ran for the 13-6 lead, and they went and they let them right down the field and match it, I said to myself, how are you going to let them go right down the field on you?
You're a pro. I love him as a coordinator, but you're a professional coach on a goal line stand. How does someone, the safety, not count people up and call a timeout? They ran the play and scored on us. Why? They had an extra blocker. We only had 10 guys on the field. That's disgusting. Like, that can't happen with the Giants. Like, shit happens to us all the time. That can't happen. You can't coach yourself like that. So I've been very upset about that. No one's talking about it. Go back and watch the film. You count 10 guys, and you're like, and only like 7 are on the line. 3 are actually back on the goal line. Like, what are you waiting for? Joke. Horrible. And Evan Neal, that's all right, kid. You're going to get your ass kicked in the NFL. You went up against Lawrence, Mike Parsons. Like, it is what it is, Evan Neal. And Andrew Thomas struggled for the first couple games of his career. Now he's the best left tackle in the game. He's the only solid guy we got. Our issue is our guards, Lewinsky, Breederson, all this junk that we have of rebuilt offensive linemen in the middle can't block for shit. Not only can't they block, they can't get out to pull and block. So Barkley's only runs are when there's a hole, and he just goes straight. Like, he can't run with somebody pulling. They can't run that kind of offense. And on top of that, Daniel Jones has who for wide receiver? No Shepard. Okay. For some reason, Darius Slayton can't make the field. He can't get on the field. They play Richie James, who's a special teamer, David Sills, who's a practice squad guy. And now what? Kenny Golladay, who doesn't catch the ball, doesn't go for it, doesn't extend for it, doesn't care. Who's Daniel going to throw it to? Guys, when you watch the game, I'm going to wrap it up with this. When you watch the Giants game, did you not feel for Daniel Jones at one point where, like, they're ragging on him, Nakeman's ragging on him, and you're just watching this kid get beat up, but he's still trying to play the game? Matt?
I got nothing, King.
No? You think he's that bad?
What is it?
You think Daniel Jones is that bad?
I don't think Daniel Jones is that bad. I think
He got
it's
his ass kicked, dude. He's got his ass kicked. I thought he played great.
the only thing that I think is when you got Cooper Rush coming in and winning a game against Minnesota last year, Cincy this year, and then you got as long as a example as you do with Danny Dimes, you got to wonder, is Danny Dimes even as good as Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush never got touched. Daniel Jones was pressured so much that he set a record. They set a record. He's been the most hit quarterback over the last 3-4 years. He was knocked around. And Matt, did you guys see him get beat up? They never touched the Cowboys quarterback. He never had to deal with that. Daniel Jones banged his head, 4 or 5 times? They hit him after the play when somebody hit him in the leg. Like, so in other words, what I'm trying to say is, like, that offensive line is doing him dirty. Like, he's getting beat up and his stock is dropping. You see when the kid has a chance, he makes the right throws, right? He's throwing to nobody, scrambling his ass off to get first downs to keep them in a game, whether people want to believe that or not. He's the only one keeping him in the game at times, but he's getting killed. I feel like I'm yelling at the wall, but it's just been like that with the Giants now for like 4 or 5 years. It's true. It's true. Like, he's not a bad quarterback. Is he worth $30 million? I don't think so right now, but he's really not a bad. He's a athletic quarterback who make the throws, and if you don't think he's a tough guy, you didn't watch the game. For real. Like, I want that guy on my team, that kind of kid. I want that kind of kid on my team. After the game, didn't blame one offensive lineman. Didn't say one thing about the offensive lineman being wrong. Said it was all on him. That's the guy you want. I'm telling you, that's the guy you want. Just got to protect him. He'll make the plays, right? Put the weapons around him and fucking protect him. In next year's draft, if you don't have to take a quarterback and you can invest in some guards with Neal working out, Thomas, some really good guards, maybe another weapon in free agency. Now Daniel can play. Like, he's still being knocked down 7 times a game. All right, that's all I got to say. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm a Daniel Jones apologist. So, for the missing brother Ray, for Master Thomas, M1, Mr. Never Left, oh, he's going to leave, and Mr. Buddy Money. There, it's me, Mike Lebby King, Miguel, the Thursday Night Messiah, telling you to take the Dolphins +4 in the over. I will see you again Sunday morning, and when that pick comes in, you will thank the Messiah. You will thank him. Oh, I got